Can we get you in the frame? So we're live. I don't know if CheZZa's on the frame. There. Is he? There he is.
3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Yep. This is the Shot Club. My name is CheZZa. GMGM.
What's your name?
It's David Solomon, black girl and everything. Mm-hmm. And the guy in the back.
Yeah, but you're a little.
Why you click? What is this green stuff? What is this green stuff?
It's.
Oh, it's turtle power.
Okay. Well,
So what's this? What's this? It was 2.
well,
Stay away.
then. I'm shot.
Oh, he's having a shot. Who's it? Yeah, who's it?
I thought it was green just because of the bottle itself. No.
So what are we drinking to? And it's cold? Oh, what's on here?
It's a fucking Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
It's an Ninja Turtle.
Nostalgia.
Turtle power.
Girls in a half shots.
Who's Master Splitter?
Here we go.
Whoever wants to do the rap.
It's not bad.
It's not.
Fruity.
It's fruity?
Okay.
Thanks to the captain.
But yeah. So,
So,
how's everybody's week been? Start with Mo. Feel like every week's week. So, how's your week?
you gotta go hard.
We go in whatever order we feel, sir.
My week was good. I was up north.
Shoot videos.
So, oh yeah, shooting a video. I was supposed to shoot 2 videos. Got rained out for one of them. The one day, like it hasn't rained all summer.
Right.
The one day I go up there to shoot.
Right. Rain.
Thunderstorm. So the video, the song's called Way Up with Roman and Kretz. And the whole idea was to be up on things. The lightning storm was not the best idea. So we scrapped that, but we did shoot the party video.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that was good times. With my mom,
How's she doing?
she's doing all right. And yeah, just fucking went to the beach. Really had a good time.
That's
Lots of
awesome.
swimming.
What's up?
Yeah.
Going out some birds.
Yeah, the ducks.
Well,
He just is so
as a
funny.
good boy should.
They're just like wah, protecting her children. And he's like he's jumping.
He's just jumping. I don't know what that means, but I gotta keep going forward. Yeah.
Good times. Yeah, we had fun.
That's good.
Listen to video should be good.
Yeah.
I like the song a lot.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I thought I could done course actually. But still, yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
So exactly. We do time for another Nickel City.
I was gonna say the Nickel City anthem. Like, if I would have made one a Nickel City anthem, because with this project I had no best friend, just straight, right? And I was like, hey, if I'm in Nickel City song, how do I have that without rolling Mo?
Yeah.
Right. Call Tony Romo.
Not-
But yeah, it's like I had to have them. So, you know,
How do you have the Nickel City anthem without Sudbury's very own Trace Morgan?
Oh, I see what he's doing.
I see what he's doing, but I don't get.
I wish he had given me some heads up before he did that.
I'm trying to get him to claim. That's right away. He claimed.
Right, yeah. Just hate.
There's no agency, sir.
It's okay. It's because you're from Brampton.
Anyways, on that note, David, how was your week?
Free tagging that.
I'm trying to figure out.
My week was good. I worked a lot.
Yeah.
And I slept even less. That's it.
Is it?
Yeah. And I went salsa dancing last night.
So it's also dancing. Where?
I Google Lounge.
Okay. Do you know how to salsa dance? Do you have?
I know as much as I did last time, but I danced. Nothing new, nothing gay.
Steve says, what up? I'm going on my car.
What's up, Steve?
What up, Steve?
I think you saw the new Lion King.
I'm excited for that.
Are you?
I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, well, like the Toy Story, we can't talk about it because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no, we're not going to talk about it. We will discuss it on Casual Fan Wednesday night. Shotgun podcast.
You guys didn't do it. Yeah, see
No,
I
I
like
haven't
to
seen
see
it.
it.
But I've seen that.
Talking about the trailer, but this guy's like, yo, tell me you're doing the trailer. We said, we're doing the trailer thing.
So, yeah. How was your weekend?
It was good. I'm enjoying the summer. It's like been a bit of day drinking,
A bit?
which is always fun. Yeah. I've been on this coolers kick. It's like coolers in the middle of the day. That sounds like something. That sounds like something you would.
That could be a new spin-off.
Yeah. No, we're just enjoying the summer. I mean, it's been amazing as far as the heat goes. You know, I think the past couple of summers we've been complaining about not getting enough heat.
Yeah.
So now we're getting it. So I want to hear nothing because we're about to.
Well, our guest was complaining about it.
We're gonna put on big jackets in a couple months. So I don't want to hear shit from anybody.
Well, our guest was complaining about it.
Well, we're gonna talk about that when we have our guests on. But yeah, just enjoy the heat, man. Because
I'm a fan too.
You have a fan.
it's gonna get
Yeah.
worse.
We probably should turn that off. Turn it off. Turn it down. Can you do me a favor? Can you hit the fan button?
Power?
No, the fan. Like it looks like a fan.
How's you?
That's it.
I'm good, fine. Like Paul said, shot the Naked City video, Naked City party video.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's pretty much it. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Came
I'm
out-
glad we're able
And
to.
I shot another video too, actually. Someone to the barber with the guns.
Okay.
Shot another video?
Shop, yeah.
Which
So
one
you
was
did
that?
a video out this week.
What is it?
Kill me.
Okay.
That's how you feel?
We should do the remix as we talked about this.
Yes. Like you're thinking of remixing songs.
That's a good one to remix.
So you wanted someone to essentially, why is that?
No, they want to kill me.
Well, they want to kill you.
Back then, when I first grew up,
They wanted to kill you.
they didn't like me. Now, I can see it in their eyes.
What did you Oh, okay. That's how it is. So are they like haters?
So when does this
Yes.
project come out?
I believe September. I'm not sure the date yet. I
You
believe
believe?
yet. No, because like the way I look at it, it should be September, but I want to build every track right before I'm like, yo, I'm gonna drop this. I'm tired of dropping shit, so work it before I drop it.
You gotta work it before you.
That was like a pause. I realized. That's how you said it. I was like, yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that was my week pretty much.
I don't know.
Sir,
How was your week?
you're asking. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for the story. Go ahead.
No, very much like
I don't-
David's elements.
Lively group chat.
Oh yeah, you had
Yeah, you had a bunch of stuff to put in the group chat, so I know your week was more interesting than mine.
Yes.
Okay, well, it all started. Well, Thursday it was like a work.
Huh?
No,
Hey,
no,
something?
that was premature. No.
Sure.
Still 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, it was like a work do, kind of, getting drunk on the company dime, and then some coworkers were like, "Hey, let's go on a boat ride," because one of the girls knew somebody who works on the boat, so we went all the way down to the waterfront, and it was
all the way
like,
down.
all the way downtown. And then we're just like, yeah, we just want a little like beer cruisy thing to the islands and back. And Friday was a bit of a wash. And then I went home and started mixing Friday night. Yep, we
Yeah,
saw some glimpses of that.
we got the message.
Yeah.
Is
Messages.
Messages.
Don't let me in your social media.
Do they have that or I could have swore I heard somebody talk about it. I don't know if it was an idea or they actually have an app to where it can block you from getting on if you're drunk or something.
Like,
Is that a thing?
like maybe it's like a car, and you're like a breathalyzer.
Yeah, that's
you
what
gotta
I'm
blow before
Yeah,
you
for
can
a
log
car
in.
they do
Yeah.
that. They'll have the breathalyzer.
but it's
where-
friendly for your
where you
phone.
would
It's
start
not
it
for
up.
your phone.
Apparently there's an app for your phone.
What are you gonna breathe in?
No, I
I
think
don't know.
I don't
There
think
is- there is- no, there
I
is.
think it's
I don't know how
You
to
can lock it off
How you
from
gonna
a certain time to a certain time.
I think
And it's password.
Yeah,
It's passcode.
yeah, exactly. You lock it off before you get drunk. You lock it off from this time to this time, and it won't let you do it.
Oh, okay.
So, but those car ones, so I was in Value Village with my dad Like this was like 6 months ago. And so I buy it. So as you might tell,
Yeah, yeah.
pile of stuff in the corner. But I come out and this car, like there's 2 rows of cars. So this car can back out and leave. This guy's behind me, so I'm stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he doesn't see me. I'm like, I see him sitting in his car. I'm like, no, moving. Like 65 maybe, drunk. And he keeps trying to blow in his thing and it won't let him move his car. I'm like, bro, you gotta move your fucking car. Like, I don't care how you do it. This shit moves, but it's pushing the other way. And he keeps trying it. I'm like, bro, you are obviously way too drunk to
What time of the day is this?
We don't know.
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
But usually with those, you have any alcohol in your vegetables, you can try.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, bro, you can't be that wasted at 2 o'clock.
But I'm just like, eat it. Like, get the fuck out of my way. What are you doing?
I want to know what he was trying to pick up at Valley Village.
That guy? I think he probably pulled in and be like, I need a minute. Nobody's gonna judge me here.
All right, so the buzzer should have went off, didn't go off. So
We
Hey!
got it in 3, 2, 1.
Hey!
Hey,
Way to go.
hey,
Way to
Yes.
go.
We're taking the shot.
Hey.
who's wanna?
Fonz. Oh,
Sorry, Eggy Azalea, yeah.
oh yeah, Eggy.
Eggy Azalea premature.
Oh, she dropped an album. Random.
I have a shot.
Have a shot.
Bro,
You're always gonna be drinking.
So I think he's got that thing rigged up back there.
It's
the universe has it.
Every time it says have a shot, it's like, oh.
barely missed the turn.
I brought it for maybe a guest
So
who
what's the
might
shot for?
not invite as much.
What is a shot to?
Same thing.
So, same thing. But
I said 4. I said 2.
same.
Are you not gonna?
Yeah. What's it say?
Good long weekend coming up. How about that?
Good
Is
long-
that
Weekends come up?
Good long
When?
green weekend.
When's the long week coming up?
Not this weekend. We can have it.
Well, why
It
would,
feels like no. It feels like it's closer though.
but are we really gonna
Is it this weekend?
wish for next week?
Is it this weekend?
Just drink it.
Here's to a long green weekend.
I never know when you're about a weekend.
It's not next weekend.
Terrence says, hello, gentlemen.
What to do?
And Oshi Crazy's like, Iggy's letting you guys down.
Right?
Definitely.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Eggy
Just following
letting
the
us down.
tradition, really.
Yeah, these timers are very unreliable. Wait, we'll see what happens. All right, guys. So what's in the news today?
In hip-hop news, you guys know about, what's his name? Vancouver, I think he's in California now, LA, rapper Tom McDonald. Right? So, he's been dropping like, what's the other song's name?
So he's in a bunch. So he's okay. So he's sort of
It's almost like a
the
gimmick.
white, cornier version of Good Joyner Lucas King.
I was gonna say Tom Joyner. Sorry,
Like when
I'm
Joyner,
old and washed. I'm in bed by 8 p.m.
when Joyner came out with what was the track called?
I'm racist.
Huh?
Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
So
those-
it's along those lines. So he's had a string of them.
Yeah.
There's I think one called White People,
something like
and
that.
one called White People, or one called White Boy, and then one called something
I'm not
about
racist,
white people.
something like that.
Yeah,
But
there's
yeah.
been a bunch. So I get what he's doing. He's playing off all this controversy. It's gimmicky,
Right.
and he's not doing it to say some fucked up shit to like gain.
Yeah.
But he's definitely stirring the pot.
Like a lot of the songs before this newer one came out, it was like "Don't blame me because I'm white" type shit.
Yeah.
So when this song dropped, his new song's called "If I Were Black."
Yeah.
So the whole thing is he's speaking as like he's black in a black perspective and why he was
Say,
black.
if I was black, I would hate white people. I would shoot cops. I would do all these things. That's the whole.
Pretty much.
He has some depth to what he's saying. I get it.
He does. It's gimmicky and it's a little corny, but
He could spit.
and I
Actually, I sent it to David because I'm like, David's my test.
Hmm.
If this is gonna be something,
yeah.
something that like, cause I've like online, obviously,
I
like
like
people
it.
get mad about it, like, oh,
For
Tom
sure.
is corny,
Sure,
Tom is this,
sure,
Tom
sure.
is that. So I'm like, okay,
Let me see if it
but most of those
triggers
people are white guys, get mad about it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
like, okay,
sure.
so
It's
let
true.
me send it to David. David's not gonna be like, this is fucking corny, like, why the fuck you send this to me? Or he's gonna be like, cool. So I was like, yo, are you gonna do this for your segment? Are you dumb? He's like, no, it's dope. I like it. I never have no problem with that.
But I'm not going to use it for my segment. Because it makes no sense to use that for my segment.
Exactly, that's you saying. So he's like, I don't see
But the
this as bad.
song as all these, speaking some truths, right? But but he's also speaking from an extreme side of shit, right? So like, there are people out there that do think that way, right? If they had the ability, they'd shoot every cop that they could. They would, murder everybody, blah blah blah. And they're just anger and rage is whatever. But there's still some depth into what he's spitting.
Oh yeah. And honestly, I respect. He obviously had a plan. This is what I'm gonna do, and it's worked. I mean, he back in the day, he was on MySpace messaging people like, "Yo, check out my music." Like, I remember him from that.
Yeah.
I see a lot of those comments. Like,
Yeah.
I remember when he was in my inbox, blah blah blah. He's made a plan, followed through with it, whether you like it or not.
Right. That's hard.
You got to respect the hustle. Anyways.
Right.
And he's been in LA for quite a while now, so I think maybe a lot of this is not necessarily something that these white Canadian kids can relate to,
That's true.
or even have an idea about.
Right.
If they're not there, they don't see the same.
The surroundings are different, right? Vancouver and LA is way too different.
Well, and it's not even Vancouver. These kids are from all over
That's
Canada.
what I'm saying. Like for him himself,
Yeah.
Vancouver, LA are two different scenes altogether. So for his perspective, has probably drastically changed.
Yeah. And so his girlfriend, Nova, I met her on my first date for like 2010.
Okay.
And so it's crazy that she kind of, like, I didn't know where she was, and she kind of moved together. I saw them together. They were a group together too. I
Yeah,
don't know.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah. And so she's shooting all the videos and doing like all the and stuff. So they have a good team, and they're doing their thing. It is what it is, however you feel about it.
What is that really what the group's called?
Yeah, like
Boyfriend, girlfriend?
BFG.
Yeah. They're grouped together. Like, this is his solo stuff, but they have a little.
That's why.
Is it whack or is it?
You don't know.
Are they dumb?
Shut up.
I'm throwing the lob.
I can't say they're dumb because it's not your dumb.
You just think it's like a name.
It's really dumb.
Regardless. I don't know, just what I've been seeing about it, it just amazed me that it was like all white guys getting mad.
Yeah.
Feeling a way about it. And I didn't see any like black guys or anything talking about it.
Yes, it's live.
Houston's back. Stacey Grizzle was good friends with them, and they still talk.
It makes sense, it's Vancouver.
This is live, sir.
Yeah, this is live.
This track to Mac. I honestly, I thought it was this to Mac Legal wasn't a great film, to be honest.
The second one was alright, the first one was good. The second one was alright. Oh yeah, no, he's making a name for himself out here. It made me interested because of all the old music that he made, or the past gimmick type music he's been making. He's been talking about like, don't blame me, I'm a white guy. Like, it's not my fault this is happening.
Right.
It's this, and this.
Yeah.
So when he turns
Maybe
around
that's why they think he's corny.
and flips it, like, if I were black,
Yeah.
I would go against all this stuff. So everything he says, don't blame me for being a white guy, he's like, I would be like that if I was black.
Well, and that's why I respect him. It's not like he's just throwing things against the wall, like, oh, let me make this track and try to start some controversy and see if it works.
Right.
Yeah, he's obviously planned this string of tracks out to lead up to this one.
Well, maybe that's why his fan base is saying he's corny because of the
These aren't even
tracks.
it's not necessarily a fan base. He's getting attention.
Yeah, he's
right,
getting
from
attention.
people.
He's
So
getting
these are
attention.
just people. Whether they're fans or not, they know who he is.
Well, now, if you think about it, to be honest, let's be honest. Think about it. Since when hasn't Caucasians got mad at the nonsense? They boycotted Nike. They got mad at Nike. They didn't want to drop a racist shoe, right? White guys spitting about being black. What do you do if you're black? Yeah, obviously they're not.
Yeah.
Fun fact I just learned. Yeah, the 76ers stars.
Yeah.
Same thing.
What's that?
It's the Benny Rothschild.
Should
Betsy Rothschild.
should be an uproar on that too.
The 76ers?
Yeah, the gray.
Roths.
Well, I think that is included, but it's the start. The
Circular star.
Same thing.
Speaking of which, aside, also fun fact, the Sudbury Redmen have finally changed their name to just be the Sudbury Reds.
That only makes sense.
So does Sudbury Rise make it better, even though you still know what they're talking about?
No, it depends on what their mascot is. Then.
Yeah.
If they change the whole mascot, then you can change. If it's the same mascot, then you can play games.
Stone Mouse.
A Stone Mouse would be great.
So it's just the father from that Sudbury show.
Speaking of perceived racism, Donald Trump hoping to get ASAP Rocky out.
Wow. He said the entire African American community is behind ASAP, and
Yeah, and then,
they support him, and he's.
and by them we mean all of us. What the fuck are you talking about?
What is it? He says shit.
What do you say by them? I mean all of us.
All
because-
of us.
Because why? You said because something.
I don't know. I stopped listening to Donald Trump for like.
Hey!
Thank you.
And you know best.
Bro, this man hurts my head. But let's see what he does in terms of getting him out.
ASAP out, yeah.
Right? Is getting
Oh,
him
I thought you were
out.
talking about getting Trump out.
Well, there's already been impeachment.
Well, then the Mueller
Whatever.
report just came out, right?
Yeah.
He's testifying on Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
All right, so what's the shot then?
Not Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Still getting ASAP out.
Yeah.
Those are really
This
those are
was
really
2
fucked
weeks
up.
ago we were talking about this.
Yes.
Spin it.
To win it.
You gotta spin it to win it.
Hold on, I missed it every time.
Double shot loser.
That means you got a single shot.
Why do you keep trying to record it
I
out?
don't know.
It's too late.
Oh, wait, did you spin it? What'd you get?
I don't know.
Yeah, you
Double
got it.
shot, loser.
Take two.
No.
No, not take two.
It's a double shot. Nothing.
Same thing.
Loser.
Yeah, let's get ASAP out of there.
Let's get ASAP out. Yeah,
Come on, before the shot, we're bringing our guest in.
Ooh, we have a guest. I forgot.
We do?
I've been drinking.
Hold on a second.
Guys, we got a guest. We also have a cool little toy.
Yeah, my
Anybody who wants this, Emma Littles will give it to you.
No, come on. This one's not even that old.
All right. Why would you give it to them?
Yeah, this one's not even that
Why would you give it to them?
All right.
old.
Why would you give it to them? I don't know, man. What if they trade you for like a Buzz Lightyear though?
Maybe you can talk. Maybe you can talk. Have a conversation.
Huh?
Maybe they can have a conversation, but bring our guest in.
All right, come on in.
That's how you get the introduction.
All right, give it away.
What?
Come on, intro, sir. Run the intro, sir.
Trailblazing DJ, manager for the sorority, who are doing huge things right now out of Blue Fest. You gotta tell us some things about it. She's gonna let us know what's going on. We got some good questions. I have some good questions about the city and the music that's coming out of the city because she is a DJ. She's got the ears for it. DJ Mel Boogie.
Hey. Where do I sit?
Move over.
Is this how?
What was the one person that didn't want to move?
Yeah,
I don't know where you sit, but I ain't moving.
What's going on, Mel?
I'm good. I'm good.
Welcome.
I'm excited to be here, and a little scared, but
Why?
just you know.
What do you think
Oh.
this happens here?
That one.
No, nothing bad happens here. Actually, I've heard a lot of good things, and I've seen a lot of good things, and I've been following you guys for a while. So
Good to hear.
yes,
So what's the shot to?
Yeah, what is the shot to? Are you going to go to the previous shot to fuck Trump or no?
Yes,
Previous that?
nah. to you guys for doing your thing and bringing people info as far as Toronto and beyond.
Oh, there you go,
There goes your
Spiller.
couch.
And double tap.
Okay,
Very nice. So,
so
how did this all start? Where did Mel Boogie come from?
from the borough, Scarborough,
Obviously.
obviously. First generation Canadian, two Guyanese parents who were very, 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 very strict. Middle child, only daughter, in between two boys. I just grew up loving music. Grew up playing piano. I'm classically trained in the Royal Conservatory of Music.
Wow.
I taught piano for 16 years. This is while I was in high school and college and all of that. And hip hop has just always been a part of my life somehow, some way. And I just kind of started getting into it because of Ron Nelson from Fantastic Voyage. So shouts out to him. I don't think he gets enough props for what he has done for not just Toronto hip hop, but Canadian hip hop. But whenever I get a chance to big him up, I do, because I didn't know that, being a part of college radio and radio in Toronto could help me become a writer, do PR for artists that I grew up listening to, DJing for artists that I grew up listening to, going on tour across the country, and it's just given me so many opportunities. And that's because somebody like Ron Nelson and others around the same time influenced me into getting involved in serving the community through DJing.
What was the first record that did it? So you into hip hop?
Probably The Breaks, Curtis Blow.
Right.
My dad brought that back from New York along with Rapper's Delight.
Okay.
So and like me and my brothers had our own turntables, not because my dad wanted us to DJ, he just wanted us to not touch his stuff.
What kind of turntable?
Oh, it was like a belt-driven
Okay.
kind of turntable kind of thing.
You
So
worked with what you had.
worked with what I had. And that's just how we grew up listening to music. And I don't think any of us at the time, like hip hop, rap music wasn't a business.
Right.
It was just something kids did for fun
Right.
and for clout and for girls, maybe a little money from a show here or there, But outside of that, it wasn't a business at the time. It was like strictly for the love. So it's been interesting to see how it's kind of evolved to what it is today, to a multi-billion-dollar global business. And I don't think like any of the founders, obviously they didn't think that hip hop would take it this far. Yeah.
What's the most popular music in the world? Surpassed rock.
Yeah.
And culture.
Yeah. Now I have a quick question. When you were saying about your dad and all you guys have turntables, I was watching Grandmaster Flash on Hot 97.
Okay.
And he was talking about how back when he started, it was actually blasphemous to put your hand on the top of the record.
Yeah.
You had to use from the side.
Yeah.
What did your dad think of the way you guys handle records?
He was he was a little upset. Let's just put it that way. And I mean, as we got older, we would sneak down to his man cave area where he would have, his record collection, the whole setup with proper speakers, the proper turntables, and the mixer like built into the counter. And we would like be on it. And he'd come home and try to use his stuff, and it's like all wobbly, So that created a few issues, but
Broken needle.
I don't think we got that far. I think we do better.
What was the first record you scratched? Like, what made you start?
I went to York University to study education. I wanted to become a teacher.
Right.
And my plan was to integrate hip hop into the educational curriculum.
Yep.
And I started working at CHRY at the time, volunteering, just doing whatever they needed. And I just never stopped going, pretty much. I don't even know your question. Sorry. I'm like reminiscing, that's a long time ago.
What was the first record that you scratched at age 1?
or even to build on that, what at what point were you like, I want to be a DJ as opposed to just like playing with the records and you guys getting
Sure. Well, growing up in high school, I went to high school with Brass Monk and Agile, also GT Massive. We had to work on a lot of school projects together, and he had turntables at his house in his basement. And so it went from him like letting me touch the turntables to kind of going through his records, start mixing. He showed me some stuff. I had some other DJ friends show me some stuff, and then once I got to York and I started working at CHRY, I basically learned how to do stuff on the air. And that's how I learned like how to program a show and all the different elements that come along with doing a show. And then like 26 years later, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
So 6 years later.
Couple decades more, yes.
So it's just a natural progression.
Absolutely.
Was there any sort of defining moment?
Um,
So you've had
I've had-
throughout your career?
Yeah, I've had several kind of defining moments. I mean, being a woman who's a DJ, there weren't a lot of other women to look up to who were doing exactly that. Like, there was Mishimi.
Right.
I think Denise got Denise, I can't remember her last name, but another female DJ, but she was in a different genre. She was in queer scene. And then everybody else was men. So something like the Honey Jam, which was like an all-female showcase, that was probably my first big event. And like one of the highlights for me is that, you know, King Lou carried my record crates to my car at the end of the night. And back then that was like 95 probably. And Dream Wars were like international stars. I'm like, yo, man.
Just carried yourself.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. And just like getting to meet artists that I grew up listening to, it means a lot. And even doing publicity for some of them it's an amazing experience and something that I couldn't picture back then.
How much do you miss carrying crates?
Not at all. Not at all.
How many
And
crates
I
did you bring?
to parties, probably the most I took, I'd be considered lightweight, was like 6 crates. So I'd have to have, and like my girls hated going out with me because I'd make them carry stuff,
Everyone catch one.
but they want to get in for free.
Everyone
You want
catch
to
one.
roll with me,
Yeah,
but everybody carries one. You know, teamwork makes a dream. So yeah, like I was one of the late transfers to Serato. But once I got into it, it's like, man, why do I need so long? My hands, my back, like, yeah.
Hey!
Okay, son.
Okay.
This is Aggie and Celia.
Okay.
We've gone through it. So
Yes.
this is the 4th one we've done.
Okay.
I don't know why we're so rough on our eggs.
Yeah.
Listen, man, taking care of eggs is a
There you go.
It's a difficult procedure, it's a difficult process.
That is
Spin all right.
Oh,
You got it.
have a
It's on the
shot.
line, bro. Really good.
No,
No, that's have a
really.
shot.
No, it's
Because
a half
both of them
shot.
say drink anyway. Once it's half a shot, the other one says drink.
Drink and spit again.
Yeah, you're drinking.
So we cheers every time?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so when you first came in, you said you talked about being a DJ and giving back to the community.
Yes.
So I don't think DJs receive enough of that because the DJs give a lot to the community and don't necessarily get the respect for that person giving back.
What's
So
the
that-
shot to?
What up, Renee?
Cheers to
Not much you can
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yes, you can. Right on.
Cheers.
Here we go.
I can see your confusion because I haven't sworn a lot. So.
We're just being respectful. Maybe
I grew up hip hop, so like,
maybe
you guys don't have to like.
oh, maybe you're a good Christian girl.
I was. I was.
What did your dad think when you started DJing?
My parents definitely weren't happy about it because my older brother is an MC too, and he just so happens to be
Oh,
an MC.
okay. Do we know him?
He's
Yes,
an MC too.
yeah.
That's right.
Yes. So when Maestro came out, because he was pretty much among the first generation
Right, Canadian.
of Canadian MCs, Canadian radio, Canadian media didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
And so I don't think people realize the amount of like backlash and racism that generation had to deal with because Canada's a rock and roll country kind of country.
Yeah.
And anything that kind of went against the grain was just not good. Like
Right.
people fought against it tooth and nail. And like my kids, I tell them, back in the day, like Uncle Wes was like the Drake of his time,
Yeah.
right? Like he laid a lot of foundation, he broke a lot of boundaries, and he introduced Canada and the world to hip hop. A lot of like rock heads who consider Wes, their favorite Canadian MC because he was able to kind of put rock with what he did.
Right.
And that's just how we grew up.
Right.
We grew up listening to rock music because there wasn't much music back in the day. I know I'm dating myself, but y'all can do the math.
I mean,
Whatever.
there was much music.
There wasn't much.
There wasn't much music.
on much music now.
Yes, exactly. But that's just how it was. So, I mean, I have a lot of respect for artists from that generation who were able to make a career and build some type of foundation, even though I know that I will probably get into it about the foundation now as far as Canadian music is concerned.
Right.
But to make a way when there was no way, there was no blueprint, like there was, walls at every step, and you take 2 steps, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of situation. But it was an interesting time. I'd like to see a documentary about that time and the artists from that time.
I'd actually like
What
to see
they
a
did.
documentary about your brother and what he actually really went through.
Right.
Because even he, when he's on here, didn't fully tell us that backstory.
We wouldn't have enough time.
No,
I don't know how many episodes we would have to do to like really cover
Right.
everything.
It's interesting. Side note: I met this guy. I was at the Northern Press Festival next Canada weekend, and I met this guy who his thesis was done on Canadian hip hop and the whole history and the whole life of Canada,
Right.
which I just thought was really interesting because not a lot of people delve into that.
Right, sure.
That's all.
Wonderful side.
Yes.
So, what do you think about the progress of Canadian hip hop?
One thing that I've seen, especially over the last maybe almost 10 years, 5 years, almost 10 years, is that before that, we were really like the screw-face capital.
Yeah.
Like, there was a distinct Toronto sound, but it was always seen as not being as good as what was coming out of New York and
Or trying to sound
LA,
like
or trying to sound like that. Even though we did have our own sound, like we incorporated West Indian stuff into our music,
Right.
and different like Canadian elements. But I think what has changed the most is that now the young kids coming up check for artists from our city. And they support the artists from our city.
It's cool.
Like, it's so amazing to see. Like, I went to a Jazz Cartier show, and people were lined up outside, and they were like excited
Right.
to go see Jazz. He's from here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that, having seen the whole kind of evolution of Canadian hip hop and how we feel about ourselves and that kind of thing, like that's amazing to see. So
Like, you literally seen from start to
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Where you've watched the progress from your brother to all these artists that you help develop, help manage, or whatever.
Right.
Like, how did you get into it? You just like this bring to the sorority. How'd you get those girls, talented fucking girls, together?
So first of all, I'm not their manager.
Okay,
I'm just the DJ.
just the DJ.
But they came together as part of a cipher. They didn't even really kind of know each other.
Yeah, it was Team Backpack.
Team Backpack. And I think just from the reaction and the positivity that they got from that, they decided to, okay, let's make a group and see what happens.
Right.
And I think what has happened has surpassed their expectations. So when they were looking for a DJ, they asked me, of course I said yes,
Yeah.
because each one of them is crazy. Each one of them is
Yeah.
a MC. They can stand with the group or by themselves, and I'm like so proud to, kind of have a front row seat to all the success that they've had over the past like 3 years since
Right.
the sorority formed.
Wires up.
Maya's album is dope. Keisha's album is dope.
Yes, I do have it on.
Gotta check that.
Congrats to Havaya for getting nominated for Polaris.
Yes.
Show this. Right?
Yeah.
So are you into any management at all, or?
I've been asked over the years to manage different artists, and I think in order to be an artist manager, you have to be 100% willing and able to put their needs before your own. And as a DJ, I'm kind of an artist too. That's not how it started. Like one of the reasons I wanted to be a DJ is because DJs are always in the back. Nobody pays attention to the DJ, but they play the music, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But now,
By the way, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Come on, me.
it's a
Guys, don't
where-
forget
yeah,
to check on your DJ.
Absolutely. Yeah, the DJs are stars now, and it's like you gotta pay attention to like imaging and marketing and all these other things.
Wait,
that
you do?
I know. And it's just changed. And I think as a woman, there's even more focus put on those types of things.
Right.
Like appearance and makeup, like stuff shit I didn't even really want to think about.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in jogging suits all day,
Right.
but there is more attention put on that stuff as a woman artist, period.
But isn't like your shine more than just being a DJ? It's like you've been like a milestone in the city to the point you're on 5 now, right? 5 you have your own show.
Yes.
So in the end, when they're coming to you, it's more than just like, oh, it's DJ Mel Boogie. It's like, this is Mel Boogie. Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate that. I don't see it that way. Like when I said that, I look at it as kind of serving the community. That's how I see it.
Right.
Like 100%, because there are selfish benefits that I get out of it, obviously. But when I first started, it was to kind of help build the industry. Because I had Wes as an older brother, I saw the behind the scenes challenges that he has had as an artist. And doing radio, I saw that a lot of up and coming artists didn't have like press kits, they didn't know how to conduct themselves in interviews, they didn't know how to answer questions, they didn't know how to engage with the audience. And these things that we kind of take for granted now, it wasn't the norm back then. So that's how I helped. Like I studied marketing in school, and I kind of transferred those skills into what I do in the hip hop community.
How do you help the artists today, like the new artists?
I'm on the advisory board for the Junos.
Okay.
So one of my main things is trying to get the word out about the Juno Awards, what it means to be a nominee, how you qualify, that sort of thing. I'm also on the board for Polaris.
Okay.
So same thing.
No conflict there?
There is no conflict because I'm very transparent about
And
who I work with, and
it's
I
not
work
just
with. It's not just me. No. And that's one thing I'm pretty clear about. I've touched so many different projects in the city. It's kind of hard. I have to like stay outside of the room for the whole thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not allowed on any board.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But outside of that stuff, I try to bring in new artists, up and coming artists to the radio show, to do interviews, and introduce the listeners to what these artists are doing, why they should pay attention to them. And that's it.
You do the B side of it.
Pretty much, yes.
Why did you decide to do the B side on your show?
Studio B. Why did I decide to do Studio B?
Like, cause you're playing stuff that the mainstream radios, even live regular shows wouldn't play ever.
Right.
So when I listen to your show, it's like I'm hearing artists, and I'm like, never checked that, never heard that song before. So why did you decide to do CD?
Because nobody else is.
Exactly.
But I decided
For
for
that,
that.
for that exact reason. And I think there's so much good music coming out, not just from the city, but from the country. And mainstream radio, although other stations do support up and coming artists, you'll find it's just like for one slot a day or whatever. I know, I know it's fine, and I appreciate Flo doing that. And the same with G90, the Canadian Content Show. It's a good platform for artists and a good option for artists outside.
Hey!
Oh shit. What happened? I thought I got you drink.
Spit up.
Oh, there's a process. Okay.
Trust the process. Double shot. Loser. Pass it over. Sorry, I just feel compelled to say.
We're gonna take a sip, so.
Yeah.
What is this too, though? This is from that book.
Canadian content.
Thank you. Canadian content.
I think this is the first time in Canadian history that you can internationally people can name multiple artists from Canada
Yeah.
that are popular.
I was in New York with my cousins, and cousins running his mouth talking shit about Toronto. So he gets sucked, gets whacked, little artist guys Drake. I'm not letting him talk, I'm not letting him run his mouth. The whole time we're in the car, about 25 minutes, his radio station in New York, they left about Canadian artists.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone we're listening to just now is from Toronto?
Yeah.
He's like, shut up. I'm like, okay, tell me they weren't. Name an artist that was from New York that was played in the last 25 minutes. He's like, fuck yourself.
And they're kind of going through what we were going through.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
So
We all took a moment for New York.
Like, we know the feeling, New York. We know the feeling.
because you've been DJing so long and you've been interacting with artists so long, what are the similarities and differences between the mindset of new artists back when and now?
I think that I've seen, new artists, because of social media, that makes everything so much more accessible. Back in the day, it was, we had to rely a lot on the labels to distribute music and record pools to distribute music to the DJs. So there were like actual listening parties, and it was more relationship based because the artist had to build a relationship with the DJ before they played their stuff.
Right.
You know? And then you get all the DJs to come together and put their support behind a certain artist. And you don't see that now. But like I said, the plus side is that social media means that you can reach a broader audience very quickly. But the downside to that is that there's so much shit out there.
Yeah.
Like my inbox, I can't even go through everything. And I try to respond to everything, or at least listen to everything, and it's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it's like for like Khaled or Flex or, you
All the
know?
fake clue, just because I like DJ clue.
Yeah. Or whomever. Like I'm sure they have teams. I know for a fact some of them have teams that go through their
Right.
music.
I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
if you had.
It's me, myself, and I, son.
Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned other DJs.
Yeah.
Who's your top 5?
Wow, my top 5. Well, I just saw Rob Swift, and he was crazy. Scratch Bastard, always crazy. Executioners,
dope, though.
yep. DJ Scratch.
Is it a
My personal favorite
Nobody
is-
cuts
is-
better than Scratch.
Yeah, he's clean with it. Primo, just because he's always remained
You
raw.
don't have to say it. You
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Primo. Just Primo. Starting from scratch, of course.
bad?
And Grouch, like nobody beats the Grizz. DJ Grouch is like
DJ Grouch is
probably-
nice.
probably one of my favorites.
I like what he's doing with his scratching, his DJ school.
Yes,
I like what he
yes,
does.
yeah, for sure.
There's not a lot of DJs that actually know how to scratch nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
Is that something that's still, like, me personally, hearing a DJ cut one of my songs, that was like one of the highest honors.
Right.
Do artists still look for that? Do they want to hear the record scratched?
I don't know if it's scratched as
Just
much
played.
as played.
Yeah.
Like, I get a lot of positive comments when like artists hear their stuff is in the mix with other artists.
Yeah.
It's unexpected, like, oh shit, Mel played my shit in between Jay-Z and blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Like, and that, I think they get more out of that. Not every DJ is a turntablist. So like, there's different kinds of DJs. There's DJs who are like party rockers and they don't really mix or anything, but they can fucking like shut it down, rock a party. There's DJs who can like mix and blend. There's DJs who are the turntablists, and then there's DJs who do like a little bit of everything. So I do like a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Because it depends on what it is. Like for a sorority show to get the crowd amped, I'm gonna do a little bit of everything to get the energy up. So when they hit the stage, it's madness.
So let me ask you another question.
Sure.
What's one of those tricks you got in the back pocket that nobody knows that Mel can do? But when Mel goes ahead and touches those turntables, if she drops it one day, they'll freak out.
I think one of my biggest things is not so much on the technical side, but on the knowledge side. Like I have a lot of music knowledge, and I think that's where I kind of hit people at the jugular because they're not expecting for me to pull what I pull. Like when I'm doing a party, I kind of think of it as a journey. I like to take you on a ride with me because it's an emotional connection that I have with you. And
as you should.
Yeah.
As a DJ should.
Yeah, and you have to be able to read the crowd, and a lot of the DJs who are just coming up and kind of leaning on technology to do all the work for them, they don't have that. It's a skill that you kind of have to
They haven't
develop
done
over
their
time.
homework, and they only know what's current or what's hot.
Yes, and where the sync button is.
Do you how much do you plan your sets? Like, this is always a big topic amongst DJs. Like how much?
It depends on what it's for. If it's for a corporate event, I'll put a lot of time into it because it depends on what the demographic is and what the theme of the night is. If it's
And you gotta resist the urge to just play, bring the motherfucking rock.
haven't had that issue yet. Yeah, it depends on what type of event it is. If it's a hip hop party for like the heads, I'm gonna do my homework and make sure I dig deep in the crates to pull those joints that people are like, oh shit!
I can't believe you.
Yeah, and those are the types of moments that I like seeing that reaction in the crowd.
It seems like most of the top DJs today, they move into the EDM realm. Have you ever looked that way? Like, I'll get into that.
I have, and I've kind of been dabbling in it because let's say that's where the real money is. I love hip hop.
It is.
I actually
Get some money doing this.
Yes. But I went to a DJ retreat a couple years ago, and I spoke to David Guetta's manager, and he was like, you know, Mel, I know that you actually know music, you actually know how to mix, and you're a woman, and there aren't a lot of females in Canada at the time who are doing it like to your level. Like you really need to like let go of hip hop and focus on EDM because that's where your money is. That's where your money is. And I was resistant, but like he knows.
Yeah.
You know, David Guetta is an international.
That's what just mentioned. Just relating to that, just
It's a constant battle as an artist.
Yeah.
We all go through that. Like, I could do this.
And make that
I
money.
want to do this. But there's always that.
love for hip hop. Like,
Yeah.
when it is hip hop, like
I never
hip hop,
thought
you have like a loyalty to hip hop. Like,
I never
really
thought of
works.
those.
I do feel a loyalty.
Yeah, but loyalty to it.
Have you ever thought of though mixing the two genres?
I do. Like for soca sets that I do, I'll pull like an EDM
Right.
track and put a soca beat under it,
That's interesting.
and people lose their minds because they're not expecting it. But it's kind of marrying, or even house music. Like when I do like classic house, people don't think I know how to play house music because they know me as like the hip hop head. But because I love music, and any DJ who considers themselves a music lover should know different genres of music.
Right.
Even if you don't go like super deep,
Right.
like you should have like a broad knowledge of
think
different
that's how,
genres and artists.
Trapman, he was winning the Red Bull because he would come in and he do like Paradise City, Guns N' Roses, and mix it with something like Wu-Tang.
I'm just for the
And
shot
just
set.
every time that happened, you'd always see like the video, the crowd just pops like, how do you know to mix those two together? And it's, I think he won it 2 times.
And it takes a lot.
Hey!
Yeah.
Your intuition was on point.
Yes. Like, it's not about that time.
Well,
She's got the rhythm now.
Yeah.
now, you
Give
said
it a
you heard
spin.
about, you heard some good things about us before. Who did you
Yes.
hear?
Have a shot.
I'm starting to like this game.
I heard good stuff from Wes, obviously.
He tried to bat us up.
You tried to what?
You tried to bat us up.
Bat us
I was trying to get to that point. I don't want to hear what you had to say. But you tried to
No,
bat-
he has, Wes is,
He's good people.
he's one of the most humble people
Yes.
that, like, outside of being my brother, like, I see how he interacts with people, how he engages with people. And I think that's like a special gift to have. Like, you meet somebody and you make them feel special for
Yeah,
that
You know,
time. And then,
kind of
they
off
remember
topic, but
yeah.
I've been binging Mr. D.
Yes.
His character, the way, the positivity, I'm like, that's actually him.
Yeah.
Like, he is that positive all the
Yeah.
time.
I was with him at Canadian Music Week this year. He hadn't been there in however many
Yeah.
years. He was in the lobby. He was sipping on some Henny, and he was just having the time of his life because he hadn't been down there in so long. And he was just seeing all these people.
Yeah.
It was like a really cool moment.
Yeah.
Yes, what's the shot to?
Pioneers.
Pioneers, yes.
Or
Examples. Right along with the trends.
Okay, so you asked about top DJs.
Yes.
What artists are you fucking with right now? Or what artists are you feeling right now in the city, in Canada?
Obviously the sorority. They don't count.
Yeah.
Well, not that they don't count.
They
Not-
count, but
not-
not in this fight.
Not in this.
Yeah,
That's bias.
I mean, I've always loved like what Rich Kid has done and Tona, Adam Baum, like that whole camp.
Yeah.
I just think that they're so dope.
And yes,
Who else? I think Shad is pretty dope.
Also,
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of he made a short list also. I think a lot of people who consider themselves heads kind of overlook him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
I
because
don't know why.
he's not, I guess he's not like
The
a
look.
traditional
He doesn't have a
grimy
he's
kind
not
of
right.
dude.
But he's
but-
also not putting it out like
Yeah.
he had that project that he's getting
Sorry,
married
Bob.
for.
Oh,
But
sorry.
he's not like putting out music like that either. And he just sit on CBC, so he's doing other things.
Yeah.
He's just not
What,
necessarily.
lyrically?
But he
Yeah.
can still out rap, like out rap
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Bro, yeah.
And he's a
I
guy
saw
you'll see
him-
walking down the street, and if you never knew he was a rapper, you never know.
I saw him at some random Frank Ocean art show like in the Junction last week.
Yeah.
He was there too.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
that's too good. I don't know, man. Like there's
I'm talking about like the newer generation.
the newer generation.
Yeah.
Because everybody
Only
mentions-
hip hop.
No, yeah, not even.
I interviewed a kid by the name of Quincy Morales a few weeks ago.
Okay.
R&B soul, new soul singer from the borough. He's coming up in the Rise movement, and big up to Rise because I think they're creating a platform, kind of like how Fresh Arts was back in the day, where there's a lot of like creative artists, and they're kind of not only building their confidence, but building their art form, helping them network, and through that giving them the education that they need to kind of navigate the music business.
Right.
So he's dope. There's an artist originally from Winnipeg whose name is, are we only talking Toronto or are we just talking?
No, Canada.
Ruben, no, not Ruben. His name is Ruben something. He's a dope singer too.
He wasn't sorry for 2004.
Pardon me? No, he wasn't. But overall, I mean, there's a lot of different artists like coming up, and if there's any kind of recommendation or advice that I can give to our upcoming artists, is to reach out to the DJs, reach out, not just the blogs. I mean, there's still DJs who break new artists reach out to you guys because you guys have your ear to the ground and what's going on, and you're in a position through the podcast to kind of connect people.
Right.
And that's an important thing that we also need in the industry. It's not just DJs and artists.
Yeah.
It's
It's
media.
different media.
It's a different media platform, and it's people like you who can connect different people to create different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they still have DJ pools?
Yes. I've been asking about
Yeah,
this.
they do.
I've been looking. I'm like,
They have digital pools, but because it's digital, that whole kind of relationship isn't there anymore.
But like Trevor is still against it.
Yeah, there are different DJ pools.
It's so
You kinda skirted that
We'll
whole
talk
question.
later. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to say about this. We'll talk later, but I mean, maybe you could like say, hey, look at this one. It's like choosing a cable plan when you choose a DJ pool. It's like, well, I'm gonna have this one. I'll get a Pacific Northwest for $5.99 a month.
Yeah.
But if I want like some Bronx or some Atlantic shit, well, it's gonna be $7.99 a month for a different plan. It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Brent.
No, but as a DJ, do you subscribe to DJ? Like, is that where you get your music? No, because your inbox is full of music.
My inbox is full of music, but I still am a part of DJ pools. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. I want to go back to the party.
Okay.
Yeah, because she rocks the parties.
What's a song that you can always rely on when things kind of go a little dull to pick it back? What's your go-to?
First of all,
When you know the party's dying, you know this record.
I know she knows the answer to this question. I haven't been to a party where no DJ that and got no. So.
But no, but there's
Lulls.
It's-
It depends. Like when I come on, I like if that's a situation where the DJ before me, there was like a dip in the energy.
you like how she flipped that?
I like to come with the classic. So a lot of times, like classic dance hall will get people.
Thinking about
We'll get people ready to party, and then I can bring in the other elements. And once they're drunk and already having a good time, if I throw in a classic house music, they'll like lose their shit. So yeah.
Most memorable party? One that stands out?
One that stands out is when I opened for it was Lord Finesse. No, Diamond D. Sorry, opened for Diamond D. And it was just I don't know a dope, good party.
Yeah.
He was here, yeah. So I opened for him. I set the stage. And I think it was one of those, the reason why it stood out to me is it's because it's one of the last times I got to speak to Son of Soul, who was at the party. And when you play and your favorite DJs are in the audience, it's like extra pressure.
Right.
Like when starting from Scratch is in the audience, I still feel a little, even though like,
he's thinking
it's just Scratch.
He's up there just drinking.
Yeah, he's just chilling. There's no pressure on, like, he's not putting pressure on me, but I feel pressure because I know how dope they are. So I want to make sure that I'm representing them.
Right.
So
But pressure in a good way. That's good.
pressure in a good way.
Yeah.
Absolutely, pressure in a good way. But after that party, after I did my set, Son of Soul was in the back of the venue, and I was like, "Yo, Sims, how did I do? Like, you think I did a good job?" And he was like, "Man, shut up. You know you killed it." And that was like a special moment. Like he was just like, "Come on, man." So to get a stamp like that from somebody that I had so much respect from,
Right.
and that's one of the last experiences I had with them before they passed, that means like a lot. Definitely stands out.
Now, you said you opened for Lord Finesse. Is there any conversation before the party saying, hey, I'm going to be playing this, maybe not, before it? Is that a conversation or?
Only if the DJ has like a certain list that he performs. For example, when I opened for Q-Tip, DJ Scratch was his DJ, and he had like a certain set. They had a list of songs that we couldn't play because Come Clean was part of his juggling set, part of his routine, so we couldn't play that. But I mean, that's there's so many thousands of songs out there. Like,
Do you get that well before? Because you
we
got your
got
own
it when
set.
we were there.
Yeah.
Don't play this.
Right.
Isn't it just
Did
like
you
a
have
whole
alter,
thing,
like
like
the alter anything?
DJ wise?
Yeah, there's like thousands of songs.
Oh, yeah.
There's 12 in his repertoire. That's part of his like cutting set. And,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You ever have a conversation with young DJs and you're like, don't play the artist's song that's about to come on before. Because I don't know if some of them think that, oh, they're gonna like hype the crowd up by playing it.
Yeah, that's
No.
not.
But it's almost kind of like with MGK, when on the MGK tour, they're like, don't go to the crowd and say, put your hands up for MGK. Don't do none of that.
Yeah.
Let him do that. Like, but it's an easy pop, right? It's an
Yeah.
easy way to get people to go up. So
Yeah.
that's why a DJ will play or an artist will say that name. Like, you're not supposed to do it.
I think at this point for me, it's just kind of so ingrained.
Yeah.
But
Nobody. That's why I asked about
For
like
young-
when you're speaking with younger DJs who are like, you know, they might be looking to do something like that
right,
to make because they don't know. They're like, what can I do to make the crowd go crazy?
yeah.
And like that seems like an easy without really thinking about the artists is like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's other ways to do it, but again, I think stuff like that comes back to experience and learning how to read the crowd and just developing your skill as a DJ.
And it's funny because like we talked about this and like as a DJ, you're an artist the way we are artists, and it's like you learn these things about what you can do and what you can't do and what works.
Fail forward.
Yeah, fail forward.
Now, favorite female as the brassy background. Who's your favorite female?
Actually, before you even jump into that, Jeremy Dupree. So what do you think of what Jeremy Dupree said?
Jeremy.
Right, real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
I like how
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
like, he's in front of me.
yeah. I mean, I'm disappointed that Jermaine Dupri even said that because having the Brad as an artist.
Hey!
Can we talk about what?
Come on, we chat.
Yeah. So Jeremy Dupree, where was it? Was it a radio show? I think it was a Breakfast Club or something.
It was like a morning show or daytime.
And you're just saying that he's tired of hearing women rap about or being stripper rappers and stuff like that.
He said he
He's
looks
saying
at
all
them
of them, and he looks at them like that. Like the girls of this generation. Back then they had the Brad, they had different people. But today they just have stripper rappers, which
Well, he's talking
pissed off a lot of people. He's talking about the mainstream,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
talking about
and Nicki.
I mean, that just
Yeah.
shows how
I think
unfortunately he's out of touch
Yeah.
Yeah,
more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, because hip hop wasn't the machine that it is now, you had access to more balanced,
Yeah.
you know, content, more balanced types of artists.
Right.
So there was like the strippers, there's the Lil Kims and Foxies, but there was also Queen Latifah, Moni Love,
Yeah.
MC Light,
Yeah.
you know, and then
Digga,
Rob
Digga.
Digga, of course. And now, exactly, and now there are artists out there
Yeah.
who still have
And you
conscious
work with
content.
four of them.
Yes. But the conscious artists aren't as marketable.
Yeah. I think if he would have said what he said,
Or
And
so
then
they say,
at
so
the
they
end,
tell us.
yeah.
like stripper rappers, why don't they listen to people like this and started naming the people that didn't fit that?
Right.
Yeah.
People would have been like, okay, I understand what he's saying. But he's like, all women are stripper rappers now. So everybody came up.
Yeah.
Rhapsody, she said something.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he's,
think
Even Cardi said
Cardi
something.
said something.
And I
was like,
and I have to
yeah.
applaud
Party for that.
Cardi
Yeah.
actually did she did the video where she's naming artists.
Yeah,
yeah.
And she named a couple I hadn't heard of.
Yeah.
She named Rhapsody. I've been a Rhapsody.
what did she have to say about that?
She was like,
She's like, listen to these women. Like,
Yeah.
all these
don't
women
just
that
say that
don't-
there's other women who
Yeah.
don't rap.
But this
She's
is
being like, yeah.
but this was
Yeah.
Exactly what she said.
my issue with it was why are people buying artists like Rhapsody?
But that's
Like, you
always
wouldn't-
been that's been the story
But
forever.
you
That's
wouldn't
been the story
have this
forever.
type of argument if you had Rhapsody on a level of Megan Thee Stallion. You know, like if people were buying these records,
That's been the
we
like,
wouldn't have this
think
conversation.
about the Talib Kweli Most Def time.
Yeah.
People weren't buying them.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. I remember when Swiss did that It's Me Bitches
Yeah.
joint. That same week he came out with Kweli and Kweli outsold it. He had a bigger single, but he didn't have a bigger album.
Yeah.
So
But Quality's also, you know, had the media, whatever, behind him to a point with Black
And that's
Star,
one
whatever.
one.
Right?
One
Rhapsody,
in general. It's
Rhapsody's
never
not getting that
talk
push
about
by the
Rhapsody.
media. Rhapsody's not getting that push by.
Rhapsody's managed by Rock Nation. Like
Yeah.
they're like one of the biggest
Yeah,
men.
yeah.
Well, that's now.
It's recent.
Yeah.
Recent.
It's within the last
Couple
year and a couple years since you got nominated for that Grammy, right?
Yeah.
And because she was with just what, 9?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, before that.
Jam.
All
I
right.
remember she retweeted me. I was like, okay.
Is this
She was
too?
like, a little lady for me.
All the ladies?
All different flavors of female.
All the ladies? To all that channel?
Everybody got flavor.
Did you all win? No.
I can pass on this one.
All that channel?
But I mean, shout out
Oh,
to the
that's
strippers
J-Lo.
too.
Have you listened to that song?
Absolutely.
Have you heard that song?
Joel Ortiz and Salam Remy.
No.
Oh,
J-Lo?
So he does. You want?
No, that was the last shot.
Oh, is it?
No, look at
He does this kind of character.
Okay.
Oh,
It's all like he's like a old Cuban man
Okay.
type of thing.
Yeah.
In the song, he's just saying J-Lo.
I'll show you the song because you know Joel Ortiz, the way he raps.
Yes.
This is not the way
That's
Jordan.
you just gotta show. We'll show it to you.
Alright.
I'll show you afterwards.
Now we're just closing off the chocolate.
Yes.
How can you tell everybody where to find
Well, we're
you?
not gonna do this. We're not gonna,
Well,
try
if-
whatever.
I thought he was gonna
Let's
bring
find out.
his actual decks.
Let's find out.
And
Let's
if we
find
could
out.
give her a last drink roll.
I am so thankful that when you came in, you said it was hot. Because I don't do kind of system. Like, okay, this I'm not.
Don't drop
You
it.
said there's different kind of DJs. I'm like, I want this kind of DJ, right? This is our
Now,
He was
what we
literally
usually
talking
do,
about bringing his decks,
Okay.
and then because we always do.
the last drink.
Yes,
the last
yeah.
drink rule is with the artist.
But it's
You
hot.
wait till the
That's
last,
why I don't want to
last
look
shot,
that
and
around.
then we get them to spit
Rap,
it
they
first.
sing, or they DJ.
Or
Okay.
they like Fresh Kills. They make a beat.
They made a
Yeah,
beat.
yeah.
Play a set.
So we're gonna see if you want to like cut it up a little bit, but you know.
I wouldn't do this to my worst enemy.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good.
What do you have going on right now?
Right now, there's the radio show, so I'm on Vibe 105 every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. With my partner DJ Channel 9, who used to be on CKLN back in the day, but we actually went to high school together too in the borough, and kind of joined to do the show. Still touring on the weekends with the sorority. So we just opened up for Wu-Tang and Snoop Dogg last week, which was dope. That was another one.
Blue Stars.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
blue stuff is amazing.
It was dope. Honey Jam is coming up late August, so getting into that.
So you already done the auditions? Or?
The auditions were June 2nd or 3rd, I believe. So the final list is kind of solidified at this point, and they're having a launch this Thursday. Yeah, and there's other stuff around the city getting ready for Juno's 2020. So you're gonna start hearing stuff about that. And yeah, just usually wherever
You do
something
anything
needs
for
to get
Caravana?
Caravana. I'm actually playing Mask for the first time this
Okay.
year. So I'm not DJing. Well, I'm doing a private party on Sunday, but
Okay.
Saturday I'm playing Mask for the first time. So I'm excited about that.
Good.
Representing for the thick girls. Yes.
And you were doing battle with beat makers.
Battle. See, you know me better than me. So Battle of the Beatmakers. The preliminaries were yesterday and today. So the long list is going to be announced on Wednesday, and then the actual competition is from August 29th to 31st. So end of August. So busy. Blessed and busy and booked.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Yeah.
Triple B.
Triple B.
Now, where can they find you? You mentioned 515, Foot 5.
Yep.
Where else can they find
Online, djmelboogie.com, on Instagram at djmelboogie, on Twitter, everywhere at
Going
djmelboogie.
live during the show.
Going live during the show, shenanigans behind the scenes, and you can actually see me mixing live. Actually use turntables.
Right here.
Yeah.
Shots
I'm
fired.
gonna say.
But yeah, and I encourage like artists to reach out to stations like Vibe, like Flow, like Jude to get their stuff out there. Not just to, as great as social media is, there are other platforms out there that need to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Because Canada is still Canada. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't have to be exporting artists down to the States or to the UK in order for them to get a name and then be welcomed home. Like in Atlanta, they support their own artists from the ground up. And I would love to see that in Canada too.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see that more and more.
Well, Canada's doing like a creative exchange right now, so hopefully we can learn from that.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
That was as much as you've contributed to the game, and as long as you've been doing this, what's something you still want to accomplish?
Good question. In a perfect world, it would be dope to be able to do music full time.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand, like artists understand what a gift it is to be able to dedicate your time to your craft, make money from that, and actually survive on it. But when you have 3 kids and a mortgage, it's like, yo, you gotta do what you gotta do. So if that means that I gotta work 9 to 5 and then go play a party until 2 o'clock in the morning and then get up at 5 to go do it all again, it's so no, you know? But it's because of the fact that I love what I do and I love the music so much, and when I'm playing and having that moment with the crowd, like that feeling is what keeps me going. It has kept me going for 26 years. Hopefully, hopefully that'll keep me going for until the wheels fall off. I don't intend to see myself doing parties in another 20 years necessarily, but definitely helping to build what we have in Canada for artists in a different way.
That's good. Final question?
This is our outro.
Okay, well, thank you for coming through. We appreciate it. That glass is yours.
Yes.
Are we taking one? Are we taking
Let's
one?
do one. Let's all do one more.
We will take the shot in honor of Mel Boogie. How about that?
I have a little bit left.
Yeah. Look at that. You do.
That's all I need.
Bye long.
I do want to say
Celebrate.
thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for coming.
Congratulations to all of you guys for what you're doing.
No, we appreciate it.
Thank you for
That's
coming
all,
through.
thank
We really appreciate it.
Alright, so funny. So we saw you at Dynamics listening party.
Yes, shout out
So
to
how
you.
we're sitting out talking to you and all that.
Yeah.
Later on, like Trace was like, "Yeah, so DJ Mel Boogie was here." I was like, "What?" He's like, "You're talking to her, bro." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "Oh shit, that was her."
Cheers to staying incognito. Empty?
Thank you so much.
Thank
So-
you.
That's a wake up call. That is a wake up call.
That was it.
It's not as smooth as that one.
Oh, okay.
All right. Everybody,
It's been aging for
hit that bell.
Is there any more comments?
Like,
Hold on.
share,
Hold on,
comment,
let's see.
subscribe.
Comments are good.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, I'm saying what you usually say. Hit that bell, stay notified, like, share, comment, subscribe. ShotCallPodcast.com.
You already feel so late.
ShotCallPodcast.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe with the bell to stay notified. Casual Fan is Wednesday. Stay tuned.
See, that's why I don't do it.
Peace. Thank you again. We appreciate
Thank you.
it. We're going to do a quick photo op, and if you would be so